yesterday.
It's World Cup year, and here's a chance for Ellery's young guns to blaze a path to the centenary tournament next October. This John Smith's European Championship test against France at Gateshead provides them with the perfect stage. It's a young England side, but they should still be too good for the French. Richard Gay of Hull and Sheffield's Laurent Luchesse at fullback. Featherston's Ikram Butt has got the flu, so John Bentley plays, and the Frenchman is Jean-Marc Garcia. Francis Cummins maintains his rapid rise to the top. The Leeds winger comes into the side, and he faces Pascal Bomarti. Nick Pinkney of Keighley represents the second division. He's had a magnificent season, running in 33 tries. Stéphane Millet is on his international debut. Richard Goddard of Castleford is coming back after injury against the second of 4 English-based Frenchmen, Frédéric Bonquet. It's nice to see Wakefield's Nigel Wright back in the big time. David Despan is the French standoff half. Derek Fox of Bradford Northern at 30 is the oldest man in this young English team. Patrick Onta of Leeds hasn't played for the Headingley club since November the 27th. Up front, Paul Broadbent, the Sheffield prop forward, finally makes the international breakthrough. Frederick Teixedo is in opposition. Hull skipper Steve McNamara is a former Great Britain under-21 captain, and opposing him is an Australian now living in France, Carl Jarveau. Hooker, the International Player of the Year, Sheffield's Lee Jackson, and former Academy and under-21 hooker, Stefan Tenner. Stephen Holgate becomes the first Workington player to receive England honours for 14 years. Daniel Dive of Featherstone was first capped in 1987. Simon Baldwin of Halifax graduates from the bench against Wales to a place in the starting lineup, and it's Didier Cabastanet, the French skipper. Darryl Powell of Sheffield captains England. It's Jacques Peche who completes the French lineup. And the substitutes for England, Bradford's Roger Simpson, Steve McCurry of Widnes, Tony Smith of Castleford and Mark Hilton of Warrington. For France on the bench, it's Claude Seven, Liliane Hebert, Jean-Luc Raimondo and Ezzedine Attia. And the coaches, Ellery Hanley of England and Ivan Gresek, who was a French scrum half of the 70s and 80s. The match referee tonight is Jean-Louis Haribo, a Frenchman, and his touch judges Keith Leyland and Tony Brown, 2 Englishmen. So this John Smith's European Championship, England making their second appearance, and really they must win against the French side. And a cautionary note for the British and the English: France beat Great Britain 25-18 in April 1990 against a side that in the main was experimental. The same really must be said of this English side, but still there should be enough firepower out there to beat the French, and convincingly. It's been raining quite heavily in Gateshead, and the pitch is bound to be heavy, and that will cause 1 or 2 problems. Paul Broadbent, trying to struggle to his feet, finally has made the breakthrough to international competition, and Darryl Powell with that drive in up towards the halfway line. Lee Jackson is the International Player of the Year. He finds Derek Fox, and Fox gives it to Nigel Wright, and Nigel Wright kicks downfield. And you can see the problems with this very greasy surface, and Luchesse has slid out. He went over the dead-in goal line.
A superb kick there from Nigel Wright, really deep into the in-goal area. We can see the tricky conditions underfoot as the French fullback Luchesse tried to pick the ball up, but he just slid over the in-goal area, resulting in a drop out to the English side. Nothing he could do about it, it's simply the conditions underfoot, but a great kick by Nigel Wright to start the game with.
Yes, tremendous to see Nigel Wright back in the big time. And so England will have another set of 6 tackles, and John Bentley pressed to service this afternoon when Ikram Butt went down with the flu, and he is certainly a winger in form. This now is Stephen Holgate, Workington Town. Good to see Workington's progress in the big league being rewarded. Derek Fox doing a neat little interchange of passes there with Nigel Wright, and then bringing Richard Goddard into it. England in all white at the moment, but for how much longer, because this pitch is very, very heavy indeed. Lee Jackson is the dummy half. England trying to move the ball quickly. Strong cover defence though. Number 11 there, the tall figure of Daniel Dive, no stranger to big league viewers. This now is Derek Fox, lovely dink kick through, and it's Patrick Onta of Leeds who's there to clear up the danger on his own line.
Superb piece of covering there from Ontat, the French scrum half. We see Derek Fox trying one of the grubber kicks through that he's famous for, which will obviously be a tactic today on this heavy ground, but Ontat sweeping behind and collected the ball superbly well.
England caught offside at the play the ball, moving up far too quickly.
As you can see here, the line has been set by Monsieur Adebo, but there's 3 or 4 there that could pick from who would encroach within the 10 metres.
So the French will restart right on the halfway line. That was Tenner, the hooker, who got us going. The prop forward, Jarveau, comes crashing to earth. Ontat, he will be important tonight. This now is Texido from the Limoux club. Tenner again is the dummy half, looking for the runners. They'd all really overrun him, and he had to take the tackle himself from Baldwin and from Broadbent.
Yes, good play by Tenner, the French hooker there. Ball security is obviously going to be very, very important tonight with these conditions, and the French quite rightly initially keeping it very tight indeed.
Didier Cabastanet, the French captain, taking the French to the 20-metre mark. Little chip over the top there by Despin, and it's a good run, and did he get it down, or did he touch the post, or did he put a foot in touch? Jean-Marc Garcia says he scored the try, but the touch judge and referee say no.
Well, it's a near thing here, but I think that the touch judge could be right there. It just hits the corner flag as he's trying to put the ball down. It's a very, very close call indeed, but I think the touch judge just got it right.
Yes, it was close to call, but the touch judge over on the far side had no doubts. Here it is again. Oh, just as he touches it down, he touches the corner flag, and that means it was out.
Great tactics though from the French. We had Despin putting that lovely kick in, which foiled this slide defence of England, who had compressed very, very tight indeed, and it got outside of John Bentley, which led to Garcia seizing upon the ball.
Well, Derek Fox got a lucky break then from the referee. He fumbled the ball. The referee said it went backwards, but now we have the touch judge on, Keith Leyland, on this near side. Referee though for the moment playing advantage. I think he's seen his colleague. England in possession. Touch judge is still there. And now he's seen him, and he will hold up the play.
Well, I think this could be a problem tonight, Eddie. We've got 2 English guys on the touch judge, and we've also got Monsieur Adeboy in the middle, and obviously communication between the two is going to be vital to the whole structure of the game.
I think he's saying that there was an elbow used by a French tackler.
Yes, that's the indication there. The touch judge obviously spotted it, and the referee giving the penalty to England, and they quickly get restarted. Here it is in the tackle. A bit of a facial massage there from Cabastani.
Derek Fox then, and he finds Broadbent. Yes, the French captain certainly giving the Englishman a rub, no doubt about that.
I think that's one good spot to each touch judge, Eddie.
Now then, the English captain, Darryl Powell, stepping out of 1 or 2 challenges, but 3 closing down. Drop forward, Texido, and the 2 little halfbacks, Despin and Ontat. England on the charge here. That's good play. Goddard, that was high. Referee allowing Ontat to get away with it. Luchesse was all over him. Here's Derek Fox, dab through from Fox, and they would have scored. But the Englishman overran the kick. But so close.
A superb grubber kick through, which we indicated might be a possibility earlier on, and Lee Jackson there, he just failed to keep his eye on the ball and just collect it cleanly.
Well, Lee Jackson was hunting the chance. The chance came. If he'd have picked that up, England would have been 4 up. All he had to do was pick it up and fall over the line. And in these conditions, John, had he just dived on the ball, his momentum would have taken him over anyway.
Without a shadow of doubt, I think you're going to slide for a good 3 or 4 metres with the amount of surface water on this pitch.
Cabastanet, the captain. Tenner is the dummy half, and he finds the loose forward, Jacques Pech. Pech, out of international football for 2 years, but very much back in the frame now. This is Daniel Divé. He slipped the pass. Was it forward? Well, It was to Frederick Bonquet, his Featherstone Rovers teammate. Good understanding from the French, good pressure from them too. They're in this time. Garcia for the try. Jean-Marc Garcia, his 6th try in international football. 14 caps for his country, 15 tonight. And first blood to the French.
Yes, he hit the line, Dive, superbly well there, but for me there's a forward pass. Banquet's obviously hunting along with Dive, as I do at Featherstone. Really look very, very suspicious there, but then all credit to them, quick play the ball, Ontat steps in, it's a 2v1 situation, and it's Garcia who dives over in the corner. Superb piece of play. We see that just as Francis Cohen's out there on his own, quick hands, in he goes.
The English defence was split out wide. Jean-Marc Garcia stand off in the 74-0 against the Australians in December. A tourist last summer, a try in the defeat by Papua New Guinea, a try against Wales, you may remember, last season in Cardiff, his 6th try in international football. And so this now is Stéphane Millet on his test debut. Played in the World Sevens a couple of weeks ago from the St. Gaudens club. And a chance here to make the 4 into 6, but a difficult night for kickers. Well, they got a bit of height and good distance on it, couldn't drag it into the post. But the French with a 4-0 lead, and I just wonder whether this was a forward pass. I rather fancy it was only by 1.5 meters. All right, well, let's say 2.
Yes, I think they could count themselves very, very lucky to get away with that. And that obviously was instrumental in the try, because it was from Banquet's quick play of the ball that Ontat then put Garcia over in the corner.
But nonetheless, good understanding between the Featherstone Rovers pair of Daniel Dive and Bonquet.
All credit to the French, because they really haven't opened up very, very forcefully. They're working very hard. And I was just going to say that they're controlling the ball very well when up pops an error.
Well, that was all over the place, but the referee has allowed England to play on because they are in possession. It would have been a French knock-on anyway, and that was Simon Baldwin dropping on the ball. This now is Daryl Powell. Interesting this week that the English coach Ellery Hanley saying of Powell that he would be the first man on his team sheet in any side that he would select. Made him captain tonight. First time he's skippered at international level. That McNamara trying to get the ball round the corner of the man. It bounced off a French knee. It will be English head and feed at the scrum.
Yes, never really a chance there for Steve McNamara, forcing the football early in the tackle count, although it came off Benati's knee there as he tried to shove it around the player. But really it was an unnecessary piece of play, and he'd have been better taking the tackle and bringing the ball back into play with a quick play of the ball.
Well, he got away with it. Well, he didn't get away with it. The French get the feed. For mine, that was played off the knee by the Frenchman, and he made the play for the ball. It wasn't the other way round.
I think tonight we're just going to have to accept that there may well be 1 or 2 strange refereeing decisions. That's something that Ellery Hanley will obviously focus upon, the fact that it's a French referee rather than an English guy, and we use the English interpretations.
I wonder if Greg McCallum can talk French. He might have a bit of talking to do at half-time. That was a lovely floated pass from Ontat. The referee allows the French to retain possession. Bonquet dropped on the loose ball. That looked like a knock-on as well. Well, this French referee is certainly catching the eye early on here with some strange decisions, but a high kick now, one for Richard Gay to deal with. And Gay catches it on one knee and then sets the winger John Bentley away. Now this is what Bentley is good at, taking them on out wide. And well done to Garcia for sticking to him.
Yes, we see there the earlier play from the French. There's no doubt it's certainly a knock-on as Tenner served it from the dummy half position.
Well, there's always problems when referees come to this country from France with their differing interpretations of the rules. But that's a lovely run from Daryl Powell. The Frenchman touched that ball in fright. Bonmati, so it's 6 to go here for England, and a chance for Nigel Wright now to try and expose this defence, but the French scrambling gamefully to try and bring the English down.
Yes, they're working very, very hard indeed. They've had 1 or 2 breaks with the 50-50 decisions, but they're certainly playing some good football. And when England make a break, the blue light's coming on and they're scrambling back very, very quickly indeed.
Talking of scrambling, that was a good chase from Lee Jackson. It bounced off the second row of Baldwin. Clearing up the danger there was Millet, but great chase from Jackson.
Excellent play from Jackson there. It turned an England error into a possible England advantage, because the Frenchman's tackled his own in goal area. He's given the head and ball to France.
Well, Darryl Powell, the English captain, is not too impressed, I understand, from pitch side, that he is having a word or two with the French official, Jean-Louis Haribo.
It's very important.
John, the thing is, John, it's not a question of misinterpretation of the rules, it's just, well, not playing the rules as they are written in the rule book at the moment.
Well, there's that aspect to it, but as a group of players, they've just got to put that out of their mind, and they've just got to play the referee simply as the same, and they've got to take anything away from any refereeing decision and just play good football and get on with the game.
It's a penalty to France for stealing the ball in the tackle.
There's one there that he definitely he called correctly anyway, because Steve McNamara certainly had a hand in that tackle and ripped the ball free.
So it's a penalty to France, and look at the penalty count already, 3-0 in France's favour. England with 6 debutants in their starting lineup, 2 more. Tony Smith and Mark Hilton on the bench, waiting to be introduced by Ellery Hanley. It's an experimental side, but a side packed with big league experience. And really, despite the fact that it is test match football we're watching, they should have too much for this French team. But at the moment, the French looking pretty impressive and ahead by 4 points to 0. Tenner is the dummy half again. Good scramble there by Darryl Powell. He's shot out of the line and hauled down Tenner. This now is on tap. They're looking very mobile, the French. And the Frenchman has hit the ground. But it was obstruction, the referee has ruled, and that's the first English penalty.
Yes, we see here Luches comes through, and Onta actually used him to take a player out before serving the ball. A correct decision there from Monsieur Haribo.
Broadbent, good run. Jackson, the dummy half, to Fox. And Fox gives it to the second rower. That's Stephen Holgate. Jackson again at dummy half. International Player of the Year after his excellent series against Australia. And that was holding down there by Texido, the prop forward. Would have been penalised in the big league, but not here tonight. Fox at dummy half. Now Powell, captain of this England team, but great defence from France. A little bit of frustration there being shown by Powell. The ball put inside, there's Broadbent, and Broadbent levels it up. Paul Broadbent of Sheffield Eagles, his 7th try of the season, but on this, his England debut, his first in international football.
Number 8, Paul Broadbent.
Super football here. Nigel Wright switches the direction of the attack. It sucks players in, and there's Paul Broadbent on the shoulder there just to slide over. It's Nigel Wright initially. He goes away from the ruck area, drops an inside ball. This is where all the players are sucked in before Broadbent is served with the ball. And once he saw that whitewash, you could see his eyes light up. He really enjoyed that one. Good play also from Steve McNamara, who drew 3 players in towards him. David Despan leaving the line, and Paul Broadbent goes over for the 4 points.
So Broadbent with the 4, and Derek Fox here now with a chance to give the English the lead. And Fox, from that range, makes no mistake. Derek Fox with the successful conversion. A try and 2 goals against Wales a couple of weeks ago for Derek Fox.
We can see where the shaded area is. That's where Nigel Wright's hit in, and he goes across, serves the inside ball, and that's where the gap opens up, straight behind the ruck area for Broadbent to slide over. Good try.
So Paul Broadbent's try improved by Derek Fox, and England, well, they'll be breathing a little easier now. They have the lead. 6-4 here at Gateshead. Muddy night. Handling will be at the premium.
I think Nigel Wright has shown us the way there to open up the French defence. as soon as you switch the direction of the attack and have players running angles, it's going to be very, very difficult for the defender going one way to stop and change direction. Certainly an idea from first, second receiver to drop people back inside and attack round the ruck area or the French blind side.
Daryl Powell is shown up well early on. That's a good ball to Nick Pinkney. Nick Pinkney has found John Bentley, and Bentley has skipped through one tackle, but he couldn't get away from Daniel Divé. Good tackle, got away from Luchesse. Divé there to cover.
Good scramble defence there from the French second row, doing as all good second row should do, and coming in across. But that's a superb ball there from Nick Pinkney, who pulled the wingman off him before serving Bentley and putting him through. Quite interesting, just after we've been speaking, that they did switch direction and attack the blind side. It's certainly a tactic worth following.
Daniel Divé injured in making that vital tackle on Bentley. I think he got a boot in his chest as he made the tackle. He just crumpled in a painful heap. And he's receiving treatment off the field at the moment. Vital to the French cause, actually, Divé. First capped in 1987 against Papua New Guinea. They won that international 21-4. Back he comes, formerly with Carcassonne and Limoux, then to Hull. These days, of course, earning his corn at Featherstone Rovers.
It's a certain 4-point save there. I think it's worth a sort of boot in the ribs to save your side 4 points without a shadow of doubt.
Well, Luchesse going down under the challenge here from Nigel Wright, and then Daryl Powell just tipping him up, and almost that looked like a dangerous spear tackle. The referee, though, giving Powell the benefit of the doubt and allowing France to play on because the ball had gone backwards.
A good tackle here. Plenty of force in that hit, and the ball spun loose. And just after we were saying the first 10-12 minutes, the French were holding the ball very well. The last couple of sets of 6 have had real difficulty keeping hold of this greasy ball, and it's an ideal position for England to launch a good offensive attack.
Referee stops the clock because again Daniel Divé is not too well and is receiving treatment, allowing Divé to be patched up with the ribs and then allow him to take his place in the second row. Again, that is something we probably wouldn't see in the big league, but we're seeing it all tonight. Nigel Wright, good run from Nigel Wright, lovely play from Wright, support there from Gay, and Richard Gay should have scored but didn't. No try from Richard Gay.
Well, just a lack of concentration there. Richard Gay, rather than looking around, he should have just slid in. And that was a great tackle from Garcia, who went and really hit Gay with lots of force, and the ball flew out of his hands. Just lack of concentration.
It was, but I wonder whether the Frenchman attacked the ball. He tried to punch the ball out for mine, did Garcia, and that could then have been a penalty try.
Well, I would say that in that situation, that's a risk well worth taking.
Indeed so. Particularly on a night like this. No try then. 6-4 it stays. Here come the French again. Cabastanet just overrunning the pass from Millet. The referee will bring this one back. That was a knock-on. That will be head and feed to England.
Another good bust there from the left centre Millet, and it just overrun it, or else there was danger again because Ontat was in support of Cabastani.
Midway through this first half then, and England being given a severe test in this John Smith's European Championship. Remember, beaten a fortnight ago by Wales in Cardiff, and now here they are, just 2 points to the good, but starting to hit their straps. And Pinkney down the line, a magnificent try. Well, that's the sort of form that Nick Pinkney has shown in the second division this season. That is his 34th touchdown of the campaign, and that was sheer international class.
All credit here to John Bentley, who does very, very well indeed. Gets outside the centre, sucks the wingman in, gives it to Nick Pinkney. And Nick Pinkney in that sort of gap, you may as well just shut the gate, because this guy really can run as he just roused Luchesse. He doesn't even have to try and beat it, it's just sheer pace. Superb try. We see Bentley who makes it, outside one man, in you come winger, and Nick Pinkney, he's decided there's only one place for him to go. He's going to get outside Luchesse, he's pinned his ears back, and it's a great try.
The sort of form that has brought 24-year-old Nick Pinkney to the attention of many coaches in the First Division, but he's probably heading there anyway with Keighley. The new Keighley tries in a season record holder. And Fox, safe and sound with the conversion, and England have turned a 4-point deficit into an 8-point advantage. They lead 12-4.
All credit to John Bentley here. He pulls the last man in absolutely superbly before he just offloads to Nick Pinkney, and there's the gap. There's the outside, there's the fullback. Bye-bye, I'll have the 4 points. Superb try. Well played, John Bentley, and well finished, Nick Pinkney. Brilliant.
12-4 then to the English, and that makes, I'm sure, Ellery Hanley and Gary Hetherington, the coaching duo at international level, breathe a lot more easier. Bentley again, he's in off his wing and he's hunting for work, isn't he?
Yes, he's coming into the game more and more, and he's proven a very elusive man. Very difficult to hold in these type of conditions because he's the type of guy, he checks, he hits, he spins. Very difficult to get hold of him.
Good ball out wide, and Francis Cummins almost got on the end of the pass, but just couldn't hold on to it.
Yes, it was a good ball, it was a risk well worth taking, and really Francis should have taken that. He'll be quite disappointed, and what Francis needs to do is just get in field a little and just do a little bit of John Bentley's work, get in first receiver, just have a run at the French, get a feel of the ball.
England enjoying the better of the possession at the moment, but they've just been caught offside, straying up at the scrum.
Well, I think we can see here quite clearly, before the ball's out of the scrum, the entire English backline have come up, and it's a lack of confidence in own tackling ability when you're trying to creep forward from a scrummage position.
The French showing neat tactics in the scrum. They just held it up and forced England into an offside position, but that's good defence from England nonetheless. Javot with nowhere to go, he was just bundled back about 5 or 6 metres more.
It's very, very important for the French that they do hold the ball for this set of 6 tackles, because after the first 10 minutes when they control the football, we've then seen the possession swing right the other way, and England have scored 2 tries in that period of time.
Now this is Pesh, the loose forward, ducks under one. Onta always will be busy for the French. He seems to reserve his best football almost for the national side, been captain of them several times. Dive looked across and saw there was a bit of a gap there and invited the centre, Banquet, to chase his kick forward. Bentley, well, as he was being slid back, he released the pass to Richard Gay. Richard Gay does same again, but it's risky business for England.
It's
They're
very
on the
risky
first tackle.
in your own 10-metre area as well. It's totally uncalled for. I could see John Bentley's reasoning. He looks as if he's going to get put out of bound, but Richard Gay, I don't think that was called for at all.
Jackson gets the ball away to McNamara, and he is immediately enveloped by Javot. Darting away now goes Holgate. Good set of tackling this from the French, keeping England penned inside their own half, and the kick ahead was charged down by Onta, and Onta picks up and then loses possession. Well, that was hard lines from the little Frenchman.
It's very unfortunate there because it was a superb charge down. It floated to put pressure on Derek Frost. A good charge down. It chased the kick very, very well indeed. Perhaps it'd have been better there, Eddie, just as we spoke about Lee Jackson moving up and sliding down the ball. So past the contact might have been able to. But that was an absolutely superb charge down. All credit to him.
Yes, he should have just fallen on it, retained possession, quick play the ball, who knows. As it is England who are in possession from the scrum. Francis Cummins. And interference at the tackle, not allowing Cummins to regain his feet.
Yes, I thought he'd gone to sleep there. There was, without a shadow of doubt, there was holding Francis down, and quite rightly a penalty to England.
So England are back in possession, just inside their own half of the field. It has been a not too bad beginning by France, even though they trail 12-4 on the scoreline. let's hear what their assistant coach Glenn Knight has to say about it all. We go down to Bill.
Yes, Glenn Knight is the Sheffield Eagles coaching assistant, who's also helping out with the French at the moment. And Glenn, after a promising opening 10-15 minutes, you've lost your way a bit.
Well, we scored a try early on, and from where I was, I mean, obviously I can't see what happened, but the touch just disallowed that one, and then we ended up scoring a good try. We let England score on the last tackle, and then we made a mistake in England's 25 metres, and the English team came away and scored again. But we're quite happy so far. There's a strong win the second half, and hopefully we can put it to good use.
Thanks very much, Glenn.
Good strong French accent from Glenn Knight, the assistant coach. Actually, who cares where they come from, John? If they maintain this French team and they make them more competitive, well, that's all good for the game.
Well, it certainly had a positive influence on this French team. If some of the ball skills being displayed are anything to go by, they look very, very competitive indeed. I think we're in for a really top game.
Well, it's not been bad for the opening 28 minutes, and England certainly know they're in a battle here. This is Onta. Good ball from him to his captain, Cabastanet. Oh no, it's not, it's the prop forward, Jarvo. Drop goal attempt there, and it just went underneath the post from David Despard.
I think that's rather a strange tactic. You're 12-5 down to go for a 1 point, especially when you see from that overhead shot there was plenty of space wide out for perhaps a kick across, a lateral kick, or perhaps a wider ball to run it on the last tackle.
Jackson pushing the big prop forward, Jarvo, off. This is his full debut, by the way, the prop forward, number 8 there, going through your picture. Darryl Powell keeps the movement alive, finds Fox, and he in turn gets it away to Wright, and Wright fires out the pass to Bentley on that far side. Oh, Bentley's pass inside is intercepted, but immediately Bonke is bundled into touch.
Yes, Bentley being pushed out, just flung the ball inside anywhere really, and we see Bonke collect the ball, but good work again from Nick Pinkney. He says, we'll have the 6 tackles there because I'm pushing you over the sideline.
Frederick Bonke, debut against the Australians in December, trying 4 goals against the Presidents, 13 against Australia in Paris in November. But he's out of favour under David Ward at Featherstone. Here is Richard Gay of Hull, I'm sure enjoying his sojourn into international football as Hull strive to get away from the bottom of the big league. And the message from their coach Ellery Hanley to the English team is control the ball for their set of 6. Hanley wants the English, John, to settle the ship down a bit.
Well, I think that's been the real difference between the two sides, that England, after a shaky 10 minutes, have really started playing out their sets of 6 tackles, and the French are having difficulty containing the ball for their sets.
I think the referee here has given a penalty to England. Garcia snapping at the ankles of Nigel Wright.
I think it was down there trying to make sure that his bootlaces were fastened, to tell you the truth, Eddie, but there's a 2-point chance here for Derek Fox, and he's quite rightly going to take it.
Well, it's not been a bad old start from the French, considering they were hammered by a world record 74 points to 0 against Australia the last time they played. They've made 7 changes for tonight. But England, in the shape of Derek Fox, trying to improve their position now. 12-4 up. This kick will make it 14-4. Derek Fox in good form with the boot tonight, drawing applause from this Gateshead crowd. 14-4, England ahead. John Keir just looking around us, actually, there are plenty of seats occupied on this side of the ground, and on the far side, the public of Gateshead has come out to support this venture in some numbers. When you think what it was like when we had the first ever Charity Shield here a few years ago, the spiral is ever upward in the northeast of England. It's good to see.
It certainly is. I mean, we sold, I believe, about 1,200 tickets for the Charity Shield games. That was topped up to the 4,000 mark when the under-21s played Australia, and I think it's far in excess of that just looking around us at the minute. It's lovely to see. It's excellent. A credit to all concerned.
Lee Jackson is the dummy half. Broadbent taking it on.
Scorer of the goal for England, number 7, Derek Fox. Number 7, Derek Fox, scorer of the last 2 points for England.
Daryl Powell, the French are certainly straightforward.
4 to France.
The referee is trying to push them back 10 metres, but he's not succeeding at the moment. Garcia collects the kick downfield, tries to run through Bentley. Pinkney finishes him off.
He's a tricky customer, this Garcia. Quite a strong guy, and he enjoys taking people on, and he's very evasive.
Referee now, having kept a very narrow 10 for France, has subsequently penalised England. He's quite right, they are all offside.
It's a little harsh after what had gone on in the previous 6, but as we stated before, you've just got to carry on and play the game as you see it.
Richard Goddard of Castleford coming back after injury. Wonder if he'll figure in the match that we have for you on Sky on Friday evening from Weldon Road. Castleford against Leeds. Very interesting match that, in view of the race for the Stones Bitter Championship. French on the attack again. It was Ontaz ball to Despin. Dive, you can see why they were anxious to get the big tall second rower back into the frame of things after the injury. Ontaz, that's a lovely little ball. Little dab through again. Hunting, and I think Bonquet's got it. He has indeed. Try for Freddie Bonquet of Featherstone. The ball was dabbed through, and England, I'm afraid, were found to be sleeping in defence on their own line.
French number 3,
Frederic Bonquet. His...
Yes, we see that's a lovely inside ball from Patrick Ontaz. Just what we were praising the English side for doing, standing the people up by running the angles, and then from that, Ontaz, it's a beautiful kick, perfectly weighted, and all credit to Bonquet, he was really alive to the situation. Here it is, it's a lovely little dink, and it's virtually stopping within a metre of that touch of the corner post, and Bonquet sees the opportunity. A great try, good skills.
Bonquet, his first try in international football, created by the dab through by Ontaz. Good try. The French are here not to lie down. So Stéphane Millet, another very difficult conversion attempt for him. Garcia was out wide, that one was out wide, but he's getting closer. But he has missed. But it's now just a converted try. That's the gap between these two sides.
Yes, we see here the English line is advanced, and the shaded area, that's exactly where Ontaz's aiming for, and the ball stays in there, and well played Bonquet from an onside position. Great try, good skills, good finish.
So 14-8 to England. 5 minutes remaining in this first half, and interestingly enough, looking at this French team as Garcia runs it downfield again, they lost all 6 internationals in 1994, and indeed have lost their last 10 in a row, and that's including a defeat against Fiji in July. Mind you, Fiji World Sevens finalists. You may have seen them on Sky Sports last Sunday evening. Lost the final to Manly. Manly, the holders of the World Sevens now for the second year in a row. But great to see the emerging nations like Fiji and Western Samoa acquitting themselves so well in that tournament. And the French here tonight coming back from that run of defeats.
Yes, I think internationally it's a very, very exciting times. We've got all these nations emerging. It's super to see, and it's also super to see the French here putting on such a good performance. Patrick Ontaz dominating the game. He's giving them directions. He's put the ball out of play. He said, right, we'll settle it down. I'll get our defensive line set, and we'll try and keep the English within their own 20-metre zone. Good tactics from Ontaz.
Yes, I'm sure not only is he out to do the business for France here tonight, but he's also... There's one against the head for the French. And Patrick Ontaz is claiming that Broadbent was in an offside position when he picked that ball up. French referee this time would have none of it, but I was just going back to Dive there, to Ontaz there as he picks himself up. Not only out to do well for France, and indeed that's exactly what he is doing with tackling like that. And there is a little bit of silliness and petulance from Daryl Powell.
Yes, I think we see here Darrell's taking a bit of exception to Ontat keeping hold of his leg, and he just cuffed him a slight one there with his right elbow, and he's got the penalty, but he's a lucky fella because it was a retaliation that the referee pulled up.
Indeed so. Darrell Powell gets the penalty, so do England. I'll make that point about Ontat in a minute as we watch it again. That was surely a penalty to the French. But Ontat, John, will want to impress, not only for France, but also for the Leeds situation. He wants to get back in that side.
He certainly does. I think he's given Doug Lawton a good reminder tonight, because he's having a fine game tonight, and he wants to be part of the Leeds setups, but at the minute the Leeds roller coaster is certainly on the way up, because they've won so many games on the trot. It's very difficult to change a winning team, but Ontat's given him a firm reminder tonight.
Richard Gay, Derek Fox, Steve McNamara, someone else enjoying playing without the pressure of relegation as he is at Hull. Darrell Powell, he's being singled out, is Darrell Powell, isn't he? The tackle was made then, and the big second rower drove his face into the mud, and the England captain is just losing his cool a little as Bomati has to pat that lovely kick through from Fox. Touching goal.
A magnificent kick there from Derek Fox. Just as we complimented Ontat on his kick, that was doing exactly the same. And Patrick Bomati taking the easy option there of just putting it out of bounds. Perhaps his coach would have wanted him to actually seize the ball and try and clear his own goal line so that the French had possession. Because as it stands at the minute, they're under the pressure as England have another set of 6 tackles.
Yes, England will get the ball back. Remember, they lost 18-16 to Wales 2 weeks ago, so they need a win here, and then a French win against Wales on March the 5th in Carcassonne to have any hope of winning the European Championship in this, the year of the World Cup. Stephen Holgate plays the ball. This now is Fox. The runner then was Bentley. Bentley to Fox again, ducking under the challenges, but the French closed down. Pesh was in there quickly. McNamara, that's a knock on. That's a play on. Richard Gay, England lucky to escape that. There, Derek Fox, just a little one.
Yeah, slightly.
And then Gay was offside.
I was going to make the point there that it should have been a penalty to France rather than simply a knock on, because the ball was knocked forward and a guy who was in front of the ball carrier actually picked the ball up.
Another little sliding kick from Fox, just beaten really by the surface.
It's an intriguing sort of kicking battle between both Patrick Ontat and Derek Fox. I feel that both scrum halves are putting some very astute kicks into the corner, and it's making very, very difficult for all 4 wingers to get the ball and get the ball back into play.
Lee Jackson was stood out of the top of the scrum there, trying to swat away Stefan Tenner, his opposite number. We're into stoppage time now in this first half. Ontat does well to keep the ball alive. This is Bomati. Bomati down the line, steps away from one challenge. The next 2 get him. Little tram line down the touch line there. A little confusing maybe to the players. Garcia loses it. Jackson is able to pick it up and give it to Pinckney, and it's play on. There's the half-time siren. England are ahead by 14 points to 8. But a creditable first half from the French, although Broadbent's try levelled matters, and then Fox's goal gave them the lead after Garcia had put the French ahead. But Nick Pinckney's try, certainly the abiding memory of that first half. He really scampered down that muddy right wing, cut inside and scored the try of the match so far. England ahead then 14 points to 8 at half-time here at Gateshead in the John Smith Championship.
Seize the day.
Half-time here at Gateshead in the John Smith European Championship then, and England ahead by 14 points to 8. But they have been given a scare or two by this French side. You notice it is 2 tries apiece. The French have had a dreadful time of things internationally over the past 12 months. In fact, as we said in commentary during the first half, they've lost all 10 games that they have played. John Keir, I wonder if you're a little surprised the way the French have come out here and played tonight in view of that bad record.
I'm surprised a little, but I'm also delighted because I think a competitive French side, it's good for the game in the Northern Hemisphere, and they really have played very well indeed. They've shown lots of spirit, lots of commitment, and I was pleased how they came back after going 14 points to 4 down. And 2 tries apiece, I think that shows really how close the game's been.
And as far as the English side are concerned, they will have to be a little bit careful because they've been caught out on that right wing twice, haven't they, for their 2 tries, for the French's tries?
Yes, it was down the English right-hand side that they were twice caught out for the tries, and also once when Garcia just hit the corner flag and the referee quite rightly disallowed the try. So there'll be an area of concern there on defence.
This is where Garcia just failed to ground the ball in time. I mean, an excellent decision as it turned out by touch judge and referee.
A super decision, but I think it's a matter of inches there between actually grounding the ball, it being a legal try, and the touch judge actually calling it touching goal, which was the correct decision. But absolutely first-class 40 minutes, credit to the French. But we've just mentioned that perhaps down the right-hand side we might be a little bit suspect.
This is the first French try. Soon after,
that's right. We've had the little debate about the possible forward pass there from Dive to his French teammate Banquet, but a quick play of the ball here, and we see that the right-hand side's exposed for a 2v1 situation where Ontat just quick hands to Garcia to slide over in the corner. Super try.
But England hit back to their credit, and Paul Broadbent, he's waited a long time for his international chance, and he wasn't going to be denied here.
No, he certainly enjoyed that one. You could virtually see it in his eyes that he wanted that whitewash there. But I really enjoyed the fact that Nigel Wright switched the play, and then we've got this second try where John Bentley does an absolutely masterful piece of centre play, although he's a winger, sucking the wingman in to give Nick Pinkney the room on the outside. And Nick Pinkney showed blistering pace, especially in these conditions. It didn't give Laurent Leches a chance whatsoever. He couldn't even get a finger to him. It was a superb try as he slides over, and also quite importantly for the state of the game, he got round towards the post for the goal kick to be had.
Yes, that's the difference. England have scored in kickable positions. The French have scored out there on that right wing all the time.
Correct, and we had a little point there where Ontat read the situation, where Derek Fox brought his line up very quickly. John Bentley caught a little in no man's land, and then it's a superb try in the corner. So we've had some really well-worked tries, some entertaining football, some good defence. I think we're looking forward to an excellent 40 minutes football.
Indeed so, a great second half to come, and I'm sure that one interested spectator in this Gateshead crowd tonight is the Welsh coach Clive Griffiths, and he is downstairs talking now with Bill Arthur.
Clive, is this turning out as you'd anticipated, or maybe the French putting on a bit of a better display than people thought they might?
Well, I think you're right there, Bill. I think it's very close at the moment, 2 tries each, and I think the next score now is going to be very important to both sides.
Conditions obviously are having an effect on the game. There are 1 or 2 errors.
Yeah, it's pretty mucky out there, and it's a pretty cold night, and there are quite a few mistakes. Balls being put to the ground, but I think that both sides have settled down now, and in the second half, I think I expect England to take the game on.
Try of the game, that one from Nick Pinkney.
Oh, certainly. He's a quick lad, as we know at Warrington, and from the Regal Trophy, and he went around the full back there very well.
Now you're sitting in the stand busily making notes about the French. What sort of notes have you written down so far?
Well, just as you're seeing out there, I think that they'll come out committed, particularly out in France, as we found out last time we were out there. And it's just a matter of reducing the error count and playing it quite safely, and then spreading it to the 3-quarter line. And I think England will do that in the second half.
Certainly, though, on the evidence of what we've seen so far, fortnight's time in Carcassonne when Wales play France in what could be the deciding game in the John Smith's European Championship, they will, by the look of things, give you a run for your money.
Yeah, it's always a different game out in France as opposed to over here. We'll know it's going to be a tough game. We'll be prepared for it, and let's hope we can come back with that title.
Your prediction for the second half, finally?
Well, I still feel England will be too strong for them. They'll always look strong when they get down into the French 22-metre area, and I think they'll go for a few more tries in the second half.
I hope he's right. Clive Griffiths is the Welsh coach. A few more tries in the second half, yes please. So England are ahead by 14 points to 8 here at Gateshead at half-time. Now then, just a reminder of our crossword competition from 2 weeks ago when we asked you to fill in the missing answer in our crossword. Remember, the prize is the official Welsh kit and an official Rugby League match ball, and you've just about got time to get your entries in time for the draw on Friday during half-time of Castleford and Leeds. That's the usual address for you to send your answers to. Sky Sports, P.O. Box 6, Grantway, Isleworth, Middlesex. All we need to know is the name of the former Welsh team manager. If you know his name, jot it down quickly, stick a first-class stamp on it and send it to us at that address. And we shall do the draw for the Welsh kit and the match ball half-time during Castleford Leeds on Friday. OK, it's all to play for here at Gateshead in the second half. England are ahead at the moment by 14 points to 8. And Clive Griffiths is tipping more tries in the second half. We hope so too.
You're watching Scott
Seize the Day.
Welcome back to the Gateshead International Stadium here in the northeast. England ahead by 14 points to 8 against France. The tries from Broadbent and Pinckney. Derek Fox has kicked immaculately in these conditions with 3 goals. And France have scored tries from Garcia and Bonquet. And Stéphane Millet, the goal kicker, hasn't found the mark yet. But Paul Broadbent, the Sheffield Eagles prop forward, ever present for the Eagles this season. He's been on the fringe of the Great Britain squad for the past 12 months. The man who has had 2 promotion campaigns out of Division 2 with the Eagles, now making a mark internationally. So the second half of this John Smith's European Championship battle between England and France is underway. More of the same for England and France. They will be looking to build on what they performed in the first 40 minutes. A shame that neither side, by the looks of things, has brought a second kit with them, because those jerseys will be pretty muddy come the end of the day. Rains here at Gateshead came about an hour and a half before the match was due to start. Thankfully, since the game got underway, it has abated, but it is still pretty muddy underfoot, as you can see, but the pitch holding up ever so well. That was the first set of 6 by the French. Turnover.
Yes, they foraged their way to the halfway line very well indeed, but quite a controversial decision really with the first set of 6 by Ontat to run it, because I feel at this stage in the game it would have been better just pumping it into the corners and laying the gauntlet down to England to bring it out of their own 20-metre zone.
Well, England now having to bring it out of their own half, that is all, and Darryl Powell really has been getting some strong treatment from this French defence. He's grounded in the end on the halfway line. This now Richard Gay, the full-back. Good stepping run from Richard Gay. Space ahead of him too. Support out wide, but Gay takes the tackle. Luchesse was in, but he was tracked all the way by Onta. Onta really does lead from the front. He isn't the captain tonight, but gets to do a ton of work. This is Derek Fox. And England now within 10 metres of that French line, looking for a good start at the start of this second half. Drop goal attempt here. And Nigel Wright with the one-pointer.
Excellent tactics from coach Ellery Hanley there. Obviously told his players the one score up as soon as they get up to the French half. Let's really have a pot at a drop goal, and Nigel Wright, as cool as a cucumber, slots it straight between the H's. Superb piece of football, superb piece of thinking. 9 drop goals before tonight for Nigel Wright for Wakefield Trinity. Now the one for England is into double figures in one-pointers. Just stretches the lead slightly. 15-8 now, England are ahead. And let's hear from Bill Arthur, who has got all the news from the dressing rooms at half-time.
England's main concern is not to force the game too much. I think the feeling was that in the first 40 they really did try and push it too hard when they didn't need to, and that's when the mistakes came. And the message from Ellery Hanley to his players is to just maybe cool down a little bit and play it steady, play the set of 6, and the results will come their way. The French view is that they've really got to keep their foot on the gas, try and keep with England for the early part of this second half and play out their sets of 6, not make any silly mistakes, and try and capitalise on whatever chances come their way.
French defending this run here from Simon Baldwin. And in the last England-France match, you might like to know, in 1981 at Headingley, France won 5-1. Ellery Hanley and company determined nothing like that is going to happen here tonight.
Well, Nigel Wright's first two contributions with the boot have been absolutely first class. First of all, a drop goal and then a sweet kick straight into the corner to turn the French round, make them go retreat right to their own 10-metre zone and have to bring it out from there.
Good to see Nigel Wright, John, resurrecting his career. The move to Wigan didn't come off, and he's back on loan at Wakefield, back in his home territory, the place where he made his name, and he's blossoming again.
Yes, there's certainly a dearth of stand-off halves, English stand-off halves, and it really is. It's exciting to see Nigel returning to form. He's got everything that a stand-off half requires. Perhaps he just lost a little bit of confidence in his time at Wigan, but he's certainly getting it back now, and his performance tonight illustrates this.
And interestingly enough, Wigan were in no mood to transfer him to Wakefield. They just said he could go there on loan until the end of the season. They know what a rich talent he most certainly is. And of course, they're already going to lose Frano Botica at the end of the season, and Nigel Wright is a man who could easily fill those shoes. The French looking to hit back, but the ball only finds touch. Daniel Dive's kick.
Yes, again the French ran it, and it's a little confusing, these tram lines down the right-hand side.
Isn't it just?
I felt the ball was already out, and I think Richard Gay did, really, because he seemed to relax as it just trundled over the second of the tram lines.
Well, there's a big athletics track all round the pitch here at Gateshead. They don't surely want one on the field as well. John Bentley then for England. Brought into the side when Ikram Butt went down with a dose of the flu today. Richard Gay. Try against Wales on his debut for England 2 weeks ago.
That's good play from the French left winger there. Garcia was involved in the first tackle, then he got up from marker, made the second tackle, got up from marker and made the third, and he's now just retreating back to his wing. Well played.
Now, what has the referee given here? It's difficult to make a stab, but it's obvious what the decision should be. It should be a penalty to England. Instead, he has given a scrum down and head and feed to France.
I believe the ruling must be that he's released the ball in the tackle, and there hasn't been a play of the ball, so it's just a scrum down, head and feet to France.
Well, penalty either way, but he's given it scrum down. He's ruled it a knock-off by McNamara. So the French are in possession, but as you were saying privately at half-time, John, not on air, and indeed, as you said, throughout the first half, England have just got to put this French referee to the back of their minds. They've got to just play the game and play him.
Yes, it's something that Malcolm Reilly certainly always planned for. He felt that you could expect nothing at all from the referees, and all you had to do was go out there, look after your own performance, and if you're satisfied with your own performance at the end of the day, you'd come off winners.
Milet's pass is intercepted by Bentley. Always sniffing for a chance is John Bentley.
He's trying to force the pass there, and Bentley in between the supporting player and the ball carrier, and the ideal position for an interception.
Starting to get a little bit ragged now, the French, losing their cool a little.
If the French lose their discipline, the English just must capitalise upon it, because if they're going to charge out of the line, that means that there's going to be gaps opening up there for angled run wider out where you stand the defence up. But unfortunately, we've got Derek Fox there. A bit of an indifferent pass from dummy half, and he just couldn't seize upon it.
Yes, not the best conditions in the world to be firing out passes like that. And the English physio then was almost caught up in the scrum. Onta goes down again under the challenge. Dive pops the ball up, does well, keeps the movement going. Got forward Texido hanging on. France just outside the English 20-metre zone. Good ball, almost. He decided the better of it, did Onta. Garcia chips one into the corner, straight into the arms of Francis Cummins.
Yes, I think he fooled everybody there, and he did actually release the ball, and I think it may well have been an English hand in there, so that might well have been back to one for the French.
looked on second look, and that's surely a penalty. Well, the English players will certainly be getting frustrated now. Look, this is not allowed in the big league. They're playing to a totally different set of rules tonight than they are every week. And it wouldn't surprise me, John, if the English started to lose their cool in a moment too. I know you say they've got to be professional about it, but very difficult in circumstances like this. Holgate with the run, meanwhile. Here's Darryl Powell. Dabs one through for Bentley to chase. Bentley obliges and misses his kick completely. Well, Bentley won't be signed up by Man United.
No, quite interesting piece of work there by Darryl Powell. Rather than just kicking it from deep, he really did run at the defence, committed the defence, and that made it an excellent kick through. And it's just so unfortunate there. If he could have crossed the ball Manchester United style, there might have been another try for Pinckney.
Substitutions made by England.
Some changes being made. Substitutions for both sides. Attia is about to come on. Let's go down to Bill and he can bring us right up to date.
Some debate about whether Stephen Holgate's going to come on. Meanwhile, on comes Ezzedine Attia of the Cannes club for his 8th French cap. And off, I think, will come Carl Jarvo, number 8. And in fact, Stephen Holgate has come off, and Mark Hilton, number 17, has come on for England.
Well, I know that there's one man sitting alongside me here. Mark Hilton coming on will certainly please you, John Keir.
Yes, it's excellent to see. I'm very, very proud when you see kids like Simon Baldwin and Francis Cummins and Mark Hilton coming through to the full international ranks. And there's one thing about this guy, they call him the Beast at Warrington because of his desire to train so much. And this guy will come on and he'll certainly carry the ball very, very strong and very, very hard at the French. And you wait till you see him hit because they'll know that they've been tackled.
Well, he's obviously there in the scrum, the very clean white arm. That is Mark Hilton, the Beast, as John Keir calls him. Meanwhile, Laurent Luchesse was receiving some treatment to a back injury after he knocked that ball out of the field of play. And apparently Stephen Holgate's departure from the field to allow Mark Hilton on. And there is the first tackle from him. Holgate's was a blood bin substitution. There's Attia. He's easy to pick out, isn't he? And he gets the ball away beautifully to Onta. There's a good tackle by Gay and finished off there by Baldwin. And the referee has penalised England now for interference at the play of the ball. Penalty, France.
Yes, I think there Patrick Onta was really, after the penalty, he realised it was late in the tackle count and he thought, I'll have a shot at it, but Richard Gay might have been having a little interference as well. He knew it was the last line of defence and he was going to make sure that his defensive line were in position before the ball was brought back into play.
Steve McCurry comes on for England, wearing number 15, the Widnes hooker. And it's Lee Jackson who has been withdrawn to make way for him.
I think that's quite a good substitution at this stage because the French legs will be getting a little weary, and Steve McCurry's greatest asset is his bustling runs from dummy half that certainly does open up gaps, and I think we'll see him scooting off quite a lot early on.
Millet, meanwhile, with this penalty, once the ball stands up in the mud.
And the second substitution for England.
Seems a while since the whistle blew for the interference at the play the ball. But it's a penalty to Millet, who not yet found the mark. And this is about 28 metres from the posts. But in terms of the angle, probably the easiest kick that he's had. And he kicks it. Millet on his test debut. And he has closed the gap to just 5 points. England 15, France 10. As I say, a long time ago, Ontat with the run, and the two English defenders rather, Richard Gay and also Simon Baldwin, all over the little man. Penalty quite rightly given, but he could have given so many more tonight.
And that was a very, very crucial conversion of that penalty, because it's brought France now back to within one score of the English team. If they're going to try and a goal, they'll be in front.
The ball then bounced off an English arm, And the referee has ruled that the ball was stolen by the Englishman in the tackle. And I think that's a little unfortunate.
It's Kabastani there, stood up in the tackle and obviously looking to offload. And as he offloaded, I believe that the Englishman simply put his arm out to stop him getting the pass away, and it could be a little harsh, that one.
And we just
Well, 6 and 2/3, as they say.
Changing room, Captain Steve McCurry, a witness who's come on in the 15 shirt.
There's Attia, Hilton around him with Simon Baldwin. Now Danny Dive. Tenner is the dummy half. He's all over the park, isn't he, the little French scrum half?
Directing play superbly, and is also supported very well indeed. After his offload of the ball, he's following up on the inside, and a nice little hit there from Mark Hilton and Simon Baldwin.
Here's Attia again, surrounded by English defenders. Onta once more. High kick from the little scrum half. Well looked at by Gay, and a very high challenge by Garcia.
Yes, credit to Richard Gay there. Technically superb. He knew that he could keep his feet on the ground, simply kept his eye on the ball and wheeled the ball in, but nobody expects that then. It was a very, very high tackle indeed, and he's lucky just to escape with a little ticking off.
Caught him in the Adam's apple, no doubt about it. Bang. Jean-Marc Garcia.
Nevertheless, Eddie, he's impressed me as Garcia with his work rates, and also it's been very, very difficult to put down when in possession of the football.
Penalty, England. This European Championship, great to see it revived after 14 years. 22 previous contests. England, European champions 11 times. France, 6 championships. Wales, 3 in a row in the 30s. And other nationalities picked it up twice. There's McCurry, standing out like a beacon in all white. Not the best play from England. That was untidy at that play, the ball.
It's the tactics, right? Trying to bring somebody back on an angle, but it just was a poor pass. It was a little too high for him, away from the target area, and it just went to ground, and by the look of it, it'll be France's ball.
Head and feet to the French at this scrum. Onta feeds, the gap just 5 points. Anything can happen here. 56 minutes gone, plenty of time for both sides to win the 2 points here. And the French will claim that the ball was stolen from them, and the referee agrees. Well, I don't know how he's ruled that, quite frankly.
I think Mealy lost a little bit of control of the ball here, but he then regained it, and there's Nigel Wright's hand in there. There's Mealy trying to force it out of the back. Again, I think it's a 6 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Nigel Wright's hand in there, but certainly the French player lost control of it for mine before the hand came in. However, it's all debatable and it's all academic now, because the French are on the attack and they're 20 metres from the line with Attia, the second half substitute, and the English substitute, McCurry, hauls him down by the collar. This now is Tenner. Good movement from the French. Cabastane dropped it, and then the English dropped it. And the referee will pull it back for the first knock-on by France.
It was good play, a double switch there, opened up a bit of the gap behind the ruck area, and it was a good tackle. It forced Cabastane to lose the ball, but unfortunately Richie Gay then made it a double knock-on.
Roger Simpson from Bradford Northern on the sideline, the 1990 tourist to Papua New Guinea and New Zealand, waiting to come on. He's never played international football before, and he will replace Richard Goddard. Cummins has come in field. He has had a quiet evening too, as Francis Cummins. McCurry's the dummy half. Hilton. Oh, he felt that, did Mark Hilton. Mind you, the Frenchman did too.
Oh, he'll love it. He'll love it all the more now. Give him the ball again.
He was one of the hits on the tour, wasn't he, that you took to Australia last year, Hilton and Cummins, to be fair.
They certainly were. They were the two people singled out by the people in the Norwood in Australia as the two that they'd like to see back over there.
Coming on
Derek Fox, deep kick to relieve the pressure. Laurent Luchesse picks up on first bounce. Good chase by England. Trap him 30 metres from his own line.
16, Roger Simpson from Bradford North.
At the minute, Eddie, I think both teams really are majoring on looking after the football, perhaps to the detriment of a bit of lateral movement. And I think we've got to open the game up because there's 20 minutes left and somebody's got to seize the game by the scruff of the collar and say, we want to win it, rather than being worried about losing it.
Yes, I think the next try will be important. It will give whichever side scores it the opportunity to go on and win the match. And Bentley's picked up the interception. He brushes away from Garcia. Support was there from Pinkney. But this time, the French defence snapped the doors shut. And on tap, perhaps significantly, the man who was in there doing the tackling, Bentley. And I thought for a moment he'd gone out of the field of play, but there it is again, that little tram line down the right-hand side of this field. Nigel Wright now, trying to prise open this French defence. It's a hard slog in these conditions. England, you would imagine, would be the fitter side as we approach the last quarter of this game, but that's not the best pass in the world. That's going to be 6 to go. England on the charge with Darryl Powell, and Powell weaving his way, gets the pass out, and Francis Cummins picks up the try. Well, I just said that Francis Cummins has had a quiet match, and he pops up with the next 4-pointer, and that could be vital for England.
Yeah, certainly poor service from the dummy half, but what that does, it breaks the French line up and the French get a hand to it, and you can see the line's all shot to pieces and it makes it a broken field situation. Darryl Powell simply sees the gap, straightens up beautifully, stands a player up, and then there's a guy there who has had a quiet night, but he supports well. He had a choice of 4 to slide over in the corner. There we've got, that's a crucial play. Pat to contact, perhaps trying to take a risk to get his Jean-Marc Garcia away, and Bentley read the situation very well, got the possession, and it's from that possession that this play results. A poor pass, there's a French hand, that's a smart piece of football, and then Darryl Powell reads it brilliantly. This is why he's so good, all the little things Darryl Powell does well, including that. That's a great ball off just as hitting the floor, and Cummins slides over.
Cummins with the try. Derek Fox was so close with the conversion. It was on its way, but then it just missed. 19 points to 10. England ahead. And over 6,000 people inside this Gateshead International Stadium have seen the try from Francis Cummins that pushes England further ahead. The gap now 9 points. The rain comes down, but a good crowd at Gateshead. And great to see. This is a development area. The match brought here to aid that development, and the North East public have responded. So too have the youngsters on the far side also. They've turned out on a dreadful night.
Yes, it's a credit to everyone involved up in the North East. It's territory where rugby league isn't as recognised, but there's lots of work going on in the schools. There's lots of junior teams up here, and this is a pure North East crowd, 6,000 plus. It's great to see, and you can see over on the far side the plastic pan shows there that have been distributed. It looks superb. But unfortunately, a little mistake there from Steve McCurry, just when it looked that England had got that two-score cushion, and now the French are back 30 metres from the English line, and it's all to play for.
Bill Arthur's got Stephen Holgate with him downstairs.
Stephen, a bit disappointed to come off 2 stitches in a head wound, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed, but saying that though, you've got to be wise, you've got to get off, clean the blood up and get somebody on there right away.
Disappointed, but it's been going all right for you up till that point?
Yeah, I was enjoying it. Ellery kept the game plan simple, which provided us opportunity to get most of the ball and when need be to get in and do some tackling.
I better let you go. I think the message has just come down from Ellery that you might be going back on.
So he disappears. Stephen Holgate missing his first Workington match of the season tonight, and I know that his mum is a very interested spectator at home as well on Sky tonight. She's just out of hospital. It's Shirley Holgate, and Shirley, Stephen obviously is saying to you, get well soon, he'll be home well in the next 24 hours. And talking of people who are on their way to recovery, Steve-O returns on Sunday for Wakefield against Wigan. We will thank John Keir for his sterling efforts. We thank Paul Cullen and Gary Schofield too. But the beast is back on Sunday.
The crucial period of the game now, Eddie. The French really have got to get hold of the football. They really have got to take a chance, and they really do need a score if they're going to get back into this game and if they're going to win this game.
It's the turnover for the French. Patrick Onta taking it quickly, and England receive the penalty. Onta claiming that no one was standing in front of him. He was allowed to play the ball to himself, and I fancy he hasn't got a case.
Yes, that's a big header there from Patrick Onta. There's certainly a guy marking him, it's Derek Fox. And because of that, rather than the French having the ball with 6 tackles to go, we've got England hitting the 30-metre zone of the French, and they've all to play for with these set of 6 tackles. If they score in this set of 6, the game's wrapped up.
Stephen Holgate has returned, by the way, to the fray from the blood bin and from the interview with Bill Arthur. Mark Hilton has gone off. Ooh, big collision. Number 11, Dive, straight into the chest of Simon Baldwin. England looking for the try that would just about seal the match. 19-10 up, just over a quarter of an hour to go. Man injured. The referee wants McCurry to get on with it, play the ball. It's Steve McNamara.
Yeah, his leg there, just as the 14 Atia made the tackle, it just went underneath Steve and his weight fell over the top of it. So hopefully it'll be nothing serious, and they'll soon patch him up and he'll be back in the game.
Tenner was the dummy half. This is Bonmati, the winger, just drifting in off his wing, looking for more work to do. Tenner to Onta. Here now is Dive. Bonke is the dummy half. Onta again. And number 16 is Lilian Herbert. I must say, John, this is like the bad old days at the play the ball, isn't it? All sorts of interference, messing about, slowing it down.
Yes, I think that's the effect that it's had on the game. It's slowed the game down to what we've come to expect in the big league. It just shows why it's so important that the play the ball is a tidy area.
Neat play again from Pinkney. Say he doesn't look out of place at all, does he? The only second division representative in this England side.
Number 10, Steve McNamara coming off and he was replaced by number 17, Mark Wilson at Warrington. And
England then 13 metres from the line with McCurry taking over from right, short ball. Richard Gay, but the referee pulling England here for obstruction.
Yes, Steve McKinney after the run round there, he'd got 2 runners coming, but just delayed, and the runners just didn't know where to come. It'd have been better there, sticking the ball up his jersey and just trying to take the yards.
Tenner will restart, and he finds Herbert again. 10 metres inside his own half, and the French substitute is down injured. Mark Hilton returns to the fray. Derek Fox gets the ball back for the English. Broadbent, strong running. Now, that would be penalised immediately in the big league. And there's no doubt about it, the tidying up by Greg McCallum of the rule, they're all over them, the French again, and it has done the big league wonders, and someone needs to have a word with the French about what it will do for the game in the Northern Hemisphere internationally.
Is it even the spectators up here in the northeast who aren't battle-hardened big league live watchers anyway? They're probably watching on Sky, but even they're getting frustrated by this delayed tactics that they play the ball.
Good play from Nigel Wright, so close. The referee will pull them back for the knock-on. Good support from Wright, he just couldn't wheel the pass in.
It's a good little bust there, but just a little too low there for Richard Gay to pick up, down by his hip instead of into his breadbasket.
Nigel Wright, he comes off. That was his last part for the time being in this international. It's Tony Smith of Castleford who comes on.
Nigel Wright. Nigel Wright leaves the field.
And Tony Smith makes his full international debut here at Gateshead tonight. Roger Simpson there, number 16, he's another on his debut.
Yes, we've got 3 substitutes now, Steve McNamara, Simpson and Tony Smith. All people who can really break the line and who support the ball so well. So I'm expecting that one of those 3 in the next 12 minutes or so will certainly make a bust and might well get over that whitewash.
Onta, that's a good little kick out wide, and he's found Garcia, and Garcia's got the centre. Bonke there, and Bonke goes in for his second of the night. But has the referee pulled it back? No, he hasn't. He's given the try. Bonke looked over his shoulder, saw a very strange signal from the referee, and his face creased in anguish. But the try stands.
A smart kick here from Onta. He steps inside the chasing Tony Smith. It's a lateral kick rather than a deep one, and we see there the English line's compressed. A good pick up there on the run, and he just serves it inside to the supporting Bonke for a really good try. Smart kicking game here. It's a superb one across the field, and that's a great pick up in these conditions. All credit to Garcia, and that's good support. Good rugby league try.
Great try indeed. Now, was the winger Garcia onside? Well, maybe just about. Was that forward? No, it most certainly wasn't. No, Bonke is in for the try. The Englishman standing there arguing with touch judge and referee, but Bonke has put the French back within spitting distance here. And Millet now with this important conversion, and he's kicked it. And suddenly, England under pressure again, 1916.
Yes, you can see there, that's the English line really compressed in, and because Ontat's put that smart kick across the field, it catches them out. There's only Richard Gay in front, and the 2v1 situation is well played by Garcia and Bonke. Great try.
So 1916, England now with just a 3-point cushion, 10 minutes to go, and Ontat, John, has come up with important plays and important moments in this international here in Gateshead tonight. He's having a great game, the little French scrum half.
A superb game. He's directed the direction of the French attack, but I've been very, very impressed with his kicking game. He's varied it so much. He's rifled the kicks into the corner, he's kicked them across the field, or he's just dabbed the delicate kick behind the English line. He's had a great game.
Well, it's a struggle now for England to hang on to this. The French certainly with their tails up. Big kick downfield. That will not run dead. Roger Simpson will have to run it out. It's only as good as the chase. The kick down, and that chase wasn't bad. France clawing their way back into this international. 3 points the difference, 9 minutes to go. England being given a real fright here. The French really have improved. Bentley with the run. And the penalty count is levelling itself up as well, 9-6 to the French. So England can't say they've been penalised out of it by this French official, although some of his interpretations of the rules, like this, are getting on everyone's nerves, including mine.
I think it's interesting to note, Eddie, also that our right-hand side, John Bentley, Nick Pinkney, have looked very, very elusive on attack. But once again, the try came down that side. So perhaps there's a bit of tightening to do with their defensive formation.
Well, it's down to fitness now. Very heavy pitch, as you can see, muddy conditions. And you would expect the Englishmen to be far fitter in that department than the French.
Certainly would, Eddie, but it's all down to one play. I mean, there's one score in this, and it's down to that. The next try is the winner.
Onta again, finds Dive. Dive to Bonke. That was the English-French connection on show there. Dive, the dummy half, and his Featherstone Rovers colleague. Onta will drill the ball down the touchline again. Just turning England round.
Yeah, another superb variation on a kick there. He just simply dabbed that ball straight down the line, and it's turned it down. He's got his defensive line set up. England are going to have to bring their own the way out of the 20-metre zone, and if they cough up an error, they're really under pressure.
Claude Servent is on the field, number 15. And Taixido, the prop forward, is the man who has been withdrawn. Prop forward for a winger, Servan, so the French want to win this. Good chase. Richard Gay trapped 2 meters from his own line, but again, not being allowed to get to his feet. They will have problems, the French, in the World Cup, if they maintain this sort of form. At the play the ball, holding down, interfering and slowing it down, because I rather fancy in the World Cup this sort of thing will be penalised. Look at that. That's got to be a penalty.
I'm afraid not, Eddie.
And as you say, John, we're not in exactly rugby league heartland here, but the crowd in the northeast have been educated by Sky Sports and others, and they know that this is not playing the game to the letter of the law as we have it at the moment.
I think the French substitution's very interesting as well, that Servant's come on to the left wing, down where we perceive there might be a weakness, the English right-hand side. And we just see a super kick from Derek Fox, which takes a bit of sting out of the tail. But he's on at the left wing, and the push Garcia into the middle, where obviously his robust style of play might create a gap. So it's the last throw of the dice is in there by the French. Well done.
Derek Fox is trying to assert his authority on this match now. Anta has certainly run things for the French. It's been an intriguing battle between these two pint-sized scrum halves tonight. Luchesse picks himself up off the floor, and he then gets it to Servan. This is the man with all the pace, the French winger, and the brand new kit as well. Good tackling by Pinkney. The French are certainly not overawed by this. Tenner dragged to the ground, the French hooker. Now Bonke on a hat-trick, of course, the Featherstone Rovers man. Anta going in again. Looking a little leaden-footed now, the little French scrum half. That's the last tackle in their set of 6. Anta wants it. Instead it's going to be Bonke who will dab it down towards the touchline on this near side. And it just runs the wrong side of the corner flag. Runs touching goal.
Yes, he may well have read the wrong tram line there, but it was very nearly a great kick, but unfortunately now it's a poor kick because it's an England tap on the 20-metre area, and they'll certainly play this set of 6 out.
Less than 5 minutes to go, 3 points the difference. Good contest in appalling conditions here at Gateshead. England looking for their first 2 points of this European Championship. Then they will have to wait to see what happens in France in 2 weeks' time on March the 5th, when the French take on the Welsh. The Welsh will go across the channel, knowing if the scoreline stays like this, that the European Championship is beckoning them. Darting little run from Tony Smith. In the World Sevens was Tony Smith for Great Britain. This now McCurry on a good run, looking for support, and again they look for support. Then there was the knock-on by the Frenchman. Good attack, though, from England.
Yes, good work there from Steve McCurry. Read the situation exactly right. A weak blindside there from the French. He attacked them, and there's the ever-supported Tony Smith on the inside. Takes a little bit of a chance with the inside ball that's knocked down by the French, but it gives the English head and ball at this scrum, and obviously ball for the next set of 6 tackles.
Anta is flat out in the mud. Needing treatment on the neck, the little lead scrum half. Went for the interception, and then a collision there as he went down. The English player just sliding in and catching him in the neck. But I tell you what, John, none of the people who are here from the northeast in this crowd at Gateshead are leaving their seats here tonight. 3 minutes to go. They know that this match is up for the winning.
Yes, they've had full value for money, and I'm sure from their reactions of when there've been some super play out there that they've enjoyed every minute of this game. It's been a pulsating contest, and for me, international football should really be given the credit that it deserves, and we need more of this.
Absolutely, here to that. Tony Smith picks himself up looking for a quick play of the ball. It was untidy at the play of the ball. Derek Fox is allowed to take the ball on, and then Bentley drops it, pats it back. Race on here, and it was Holgate, and a wrestling match between Holgate and Anta, now fully recovered. The referee standing them back about 5 metres to play the ball. He's ruled a knock-on and he's given French head and feed.
Well, I think here really it could actually have penalised Holgate, because what he did, he turned onto his back and rolled all over him, but then he's given a knock-on, and I just can't see where he's got that one from.
Onta has to retrieve the loose ball. Less than 2 minutes to go. There is the little knock-on, perhaps by Richard Gay. Just a fingertip to it at the play the ball.
I think he can consider himself a little unfortunate when you saw what went on before.
The French kicking on the first tackle. They're relying on the chase. They're waiting for a mistake by Roger Simpson. But Simpson does well, puts his body between himself, the ball, and the onrushing French winger, Bomarty.
Yes, technically very good there from Roger Simpson, but I would have expected a bit more of a collision from Bomarty, because I'd have thought he really wanted to get into Simpson, perhaps try and slide him over the sideline.
They're in there now, the French defenders, Pesh, Divet, Bomarty. Bentley picks himself up. They will know they've been in a match, these players, of both sides. It's been a rugged contest. Inside the last minute of normal time, plus stoppages, and Holgate took a big hit there. Stopped dead in his tracks by a clout in the face. And more blood from Holgate, clash of heads, Pesh and Holgate, and then he got Attia on top of him for good measure.
Yes, a real big collision there. And he's obviously felt it. Very, very groggy indeed. Plenty of claret. Return to the sideline. It looks as if it'll be quite a legitimate blood bin. Here we see it. Nothing malicious in that at all. I think they were just going in for the tackle as it was, and it's just an unfortunate accident.
Yes, he's had his lip split. Stephen Holgate, he's been in the wars.
Very difficult to tell now the strip of the money.
This is the last tackle the referee has ruled, so England kicking to get out of their own half of the field. Bomarty picks it up. And England chase is good. Broadbent. And also Simon Baldwin.
Yes, even with overtime now, Eddie, I think England are probably 12 sets of tackles away for a win, so what they've got to do is really focus on that aspect of it, make those 12 tackles, and they'll have the 2 points for the European International Championship in the bag.
Well, the French have other ideas. This is Millet. We're deep in stoppage time. There will be a bit of this, and it's the French who are on the attack here in stoppage time. They get away with it, though. Despan is allowed benefit of the doubt that the ball went backwards, and a good ball inside, but then it bounces off the chest, and England once more wheel it in. Darryl Powell, man of the match.
Yes, an unusual technique there for kicking. I think he just lost it and booked to ball, but it's great to see Darryl Powell there ending up with the ball and settling things down. He knows, play this set of 6 out, put a good kick in, and then make the next 6 tackles, and the game's England's.
Minute and a half of stoppage time. Lee Jackson's underneath those two. He has come on for Stephen Holgate, who's in the blood bin. McCurry. They're midway inside their own half, England. Broadbent. No one's worked harder than the big drop forward. The ball pops out. The referee, I think, will say that that was stolen. Well, the referee has ruled it the turnover on the last tackle.
Well, the last throw of the dice here for the French.
The full-time siren. England have won, and the Gateshead crowd rise to this England side. Mark Hilton coming on as a substitute. 2 tries from Frederick Bonquet from Featherstone. The players of both sides shake hands. 1 or 2 questionable decisions by the referee, but at the end of the day, England have got 2 points in their quest for the John Smith's European Championship, and now they just have to wait and see what happens in France on March the 5th when France take on Wales in Carcassonne. The fireworks go up here at Gateshead. It's full time at the International Stadium. England 19, France 16. Narrow win for England, but they get 2 points.
Seize the day.
So a win for England by 19 points to 16. 3 tries apiece in the end. Broadbent, Pinkney and Cummins, Garcia and Bonquet for the French. But it was the goal kicking of Derek Fox and Nigel Wright that won it for England in the end. Man of the match and England captain is Daryl Powell. He's talking now with Bill Arthur.
Daryl, that was pretty hard work as it turned out.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough game, but it was nothing that we didn't expect. We expected a tough encounter. Obviously, a lot of lads are new to the International Rugby League. I thought they coped very well, and it was a superb display from everybody.
And as a competition, I mean, a lot of people beforehand were knocking this one and saying it was a meaningless contest. It certainly didn't look like that.
Yeah, I think the replay could have been a blessing in disguise. It's given Ellery and Gary a chance to see a lot of the fringe players on the Great Britain team, and they've certainly coped well, and it gives us more strength in depth for the World Cup coming up.
Obviously, conditions probably helped the French in a way, because maybe slowed things down for you.
Yeah, it was a bit of a slower game with the French referee, and obviously he wasn't aware of the new interpretation over here, so that made it difficult for us, but we did our best, and I thought that everybody did pretty good.
I think you were being very diplomatic there, because I noticed you once or twice trying to get through to the referee.
Yeah, we just wanted a quick play of the ball, get on with the game, you know, that's the way we're trying to play it over here now, and if we're going to catch the Aussies, then that's the way it's got to be.
Well, what do you think of the young lads, Nick Pinkney, lads like that came into the side, Mark Hilton, people like that?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job. You know, it's always a step up from you know, your rugby league. You play on a Sunday with your clubs. It's a step up in pace, and it's pretty tough. And I thought that everybody that came into the side were trained excellently, and they've shown a great deal of professionalism, and that came out tonight.
A winning start for the skipper. Well done.
Thanks.
Yes, a winning start for the England captain, Daryl Powell. There's the story of the match in statistic form, and France having to do 26 more tackles than England. That took its toll. Scrums, 15 to the French, 9 to England. Penalties, 9-6 in France's favour, and understandably the handling error count over the 20 mark. 13 handling errors by the English. It was the English possession in each half, though, that swung the match their way. Well, let's now get a French point of view on the whole affair. This is the scrum half of France. He didn't throw the towel in all the way through, did he? Patrick Onta.
Patrick, to get so close to England must be very disappointing.
Yes, again, after last year when we lost the game in injury time at Cardiff, today we don't lose the game in the end of the game, but it's very short, and perhaps we need to more experience today. But I think it's a good effort for next game, because I think when we play in France it's more easy, and I think it's a big game against Wales.
Do you think you did better here than a lot of people expected you to do?
Yeah, I think so, but you know it's a new team, and perhaps for some player it's the first experience in an international game. And it's not too easy, you know, the crown, the pressure of the England team. Sometimes it's hard for them.
But to get so close to England, there are good things in this game for you. You have maybe a team to build on here for the World Cup.
I think so, because there are a lot of young players, and just 3 experienced players in the squad, and it's a very, very big effort. And I think the player realize it's a time for work hard if you want to play well in a World Cup, and he realized that because when we arrived to Newcastle, a lot of players and a lot of supporters talk about the World Cup, and I think every people now want to put the race for go to the World Cup, and the World Cup is, I think, a lot of motivation for the young fella.
Patrick Onta, 2 little words in his vocabulary, and 2 little words also in the vocabulary of Daryl Powell, the England captain. and those two little words being the World Cup. John Keir, what do you think this French performance means in terms of the World Cup in October?
I think it's very heartening indeed. There's been some really good football played out there. They had 3 very well constructed tries. They defended very well. The discipline was very good. The spirit was very good. There's a lot to build upon, and there were some good young players out on display there. So I think the French can take a lot of heart from this. They just need a victory now, I think, to kick on from this.
Well, that's right. This now is 11 tests in a row they've lost. They say losing is a habit. They've got to break that bad habit.
They certainly have, but one game was the Welsh game where they lost by the odd point, and they've just lost by 3 points tonight. So I think that they can go away, they can do their homework, they can perhaps study the Welsh game plan and analyse the key players on the Welsh side, and perhaps come up with something and cause a bit of a shock, and perhaps get a victory over in France, because there's no doubt about it. I think playing in France gives the French team a good 10-15 point start.
Well, let's take a look at some of the important moments from the second half. And Francis Cummins, I think I just said in commentary that Cummins has had a quiet evening, but, well, he certainly got into the action here.
He certainly did, but I think the main creator, it's a beautiful flick up from the floor there to Daryl Powell. But this is superb football. He reads the gap so well, beats the man with a beautiful step. And look at that for an offload, just as hitting the ground. There were 4 guys in support, but it's Francis Cummins who came up with the goods.
Now, Freddie Bonquet from Featherstone will remember tonight. He scored 2 tries and ended up on the losing side. But what a kick from Ontat.
2 cracking tries, but that really does go down to Ontat's reading of a game, in that he saw that the British line was